to do the Super Bowl?
What the deal, everybody? My name Kendrick Lamar, and I'll be performing at Super Bowl 59.
Drake was supposed to be one of the artists that was with Tidal. Drake says no, goes get $40 million from Apple. Jay-Z hates that nigga now. You feel what I'm saying?
Y'all threw 11 Super Bowls in New Orleans, man. Y'all have yet to put a hip-hop artist from New Orleans on the damn Super Bowl.
There's no reason why Lil Wayne should not be performing the Super Bowl. There's one person who's stopping this. I know, it's not really a secret. Lil Wayne had a problem with somebody before who's kind of part of the organization running it. This is payback. Who's that? Who's Lil Wayne artist? Drake.
Yeah, hating at this age is crazy.
This was a two birds, one stone situation for Jay-Z.
And I would not lie to you. I have not got a call.
Hey, Jay, I'm kind of Jay.
But we all praying,
The hip-hop world is buzzing because all eyes are on Lil Wayne, who is at the heart of a shocking drama involving Jay-Z. If you thought their long-running feud was old news, think again. Wayne has turned up the heat. Making fun of people and telling secrets that could change the way the world sees them. The Rock Nation mogul, get ready for a wild story.
And the best rapper alive since the best rapper retired. Was that your way of paying homage to Jay? Or did you always feel like you was the best rapper even before he retired?
That was me paying homage. All my friends, anyone, Baby, Slim, everybody could tell you to Lil Wayne, Jay. That's all that, Stun ain't wanna hear that shit. He ain't disliking me. It was just that I'm too much on it. I'm too, just too much. Goddamn. Santa Claus ain't real. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. That right. Well, Christmas today. You know what I mean? But shit, that to me, he was the way he put words together and vibe.
Lil Wayne and Jay-Z have always had an unspoken tension simmering beneath the surface. Their rivalry goes back years, but for the most part, they stayed low-key. That all changed when Wayne boldly declared himself the best rapper alive. Wayne having the nerve to question Jay-Z's self-proclaimed throne was enough to start a fierce feud.
Ask you this. The accuser originally filed this lawsuit back in October, only naming Sean Diddy Combs, now amending that lawsuit to include the name of Jay-Z. Initial reactions to this, does that shock you? And from your legal perspective, why might this change have occurred?
Well, these are very serious allegations, but Jay-Z has vehemently denied them. We have been seeing this trend since the criminal case was brought. There has been this influx of allegations from civil attorneys bringing civil lawsuits, looking for a really gigantic amount of money from both Diddy as well as those that they say were involved. One of the trends that I think is very concerning is this idea that they name an unnamed individual, and then they send essentially a demand to their representatives and to them individually for some sort of settlement prior to them revealing the name. Can they resolve that? And it appears here with Jay-Z that this type of demand went to Jay-Z. He said he's not paying a penny. In fact, he said not a red cent, suggesting he sees this as blood money, and that he was not going to do this, and that he's the victim of an extortion scheme. That could be the case, and that could be something that as time goes by, we see more information about whether these allegations really were founded in sufficient truth to bring them forward in the first place.
So what are the next steps now that Jay-Z's name is connected with the lawsuit against Diddy? What happens legally?
Well, he'll have to defend himself. And so the first thing you have when you have a complaint against you is you have the answer to that complaint. There may even be legal avenues that they can take to try to quash the complaint or complain about something having not been done correctly, but he'll have to answer to it, deny those allegations to the extent that he's able to do so, just as he's been doing in the media. So this will be something that goes on for an extended period of time. but this will come down to the facts and potentially testimony about what did or didn't happen.
And Andrew, for our viewers, I wanted to share this. This is the statement that Jay-Z released. Quote, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree? These alleged victims would deserve..."
Jay-Z didn't want to let a FL go unanswered, so he hit back with some harsh bars. His song, Trouble, was a not-so-subtle dig at Wayne, and the defiant rebel didn't back down. Instead, he backed up what he said, which made the feud stronger over time.
Lawyer who I have done a bit of research on seems to have a pattern of these types of theatrics. And so, Andrew, taking a look at this, and also I did also want to ask you, when it comes to the alleged victim, the person who is filing this lawsuit, right now, this is a Jane Doe situation. Is there any circumstance where a judge would compel this individual to reveal her identity or their identity publicly because of the high-profile nature and the seriousness of these allegations?
Well, to kind of piece that apart, first, Jay-Z says, bring this in criminal court. Well, we have to note that the DOJ has not named him, has not brought those allegations, and I think that they would be very interested in a case like this if there were actual criminal acts that occurred. So you have to wonder why this hasn't been handled criminally to start with. The standard in a civil court is much lower than in a criminal court, beyond a reasonable doubt in a criminal court, preponderance of the evidence in a civil court. As for the name of the victim and whether she can remain a Jane Doe or whether that will come out as her actual name, there is precedent for both being the case. And it deals with a number of factors concerning the publicity, the ability to defend yourself, the ability to rebut things in public. So there have been folks who have been forced to reveal their names in the Diddy case so far. And also many people are going by the Jane Does. So we'll see what happens, but there will be a point of reckoning where that story will have to be told in an open courtroom with a jury and determinations made if this pursues itself all the way to the end.
Andrew, before we let you go, is there anything else that you're keeping a very close eye on when it comes to these sorts of developments?
I'm keeping a very close eye on the attorneys that are bringing these civil lawsuits that seem to be doing a lot more investigation, seem to be having a lot more information than the FBI and the DOJ. That's highly suspect to me. There is certainly a large financial interest in what's happening with these lawsuits and the position Diddy's in. So I think that it's very important to maintain the presumption of innocence with folks that are being accused. Obviously, people are very curious about what's happening, and we want to make sure that anybody who violated children or committed any types of crimes are held responsible. But we have to have responsibility in the presumptions of innocence versus the salaciousness of these stories and the sprint to presume guilt that we see sometimes in especially social media and those types of posts.
Absolutely. Important point to note there, Andrew. We appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And as Andrew was mentioning, the attorneys involved, I did also want to share this statement with you. This is Tony Busby, who filed the lawsuit on behalf of this Jane Doe, saying, quote, Mr. Carter, referring to Jay-Z's legal name, Mr. Carter previously denied being the one who sued me and my firm. He even filed his frivolous case under a pseudonym. What he fails to...
As the years went by, their feeds seemed to calm down, or so it seemed. They worked together on songs, performed together, and even publicly praised each other. But the tension stayed under the surface. It was like a volcano that was waiting for the right time to erupt.
He is denying allegations he sexually assaulted a 13-year-old girl alongside rapper Sean Diddy Combs. That civil lawsuit filed against Combs in October was amended Sunday to include Jay-Z. The accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, says she was sexually assaulted by both men at a Video Music Awards after party in 2000. In a blistering statement, Jay-Z accuses Jane Doe's attorney of trying to blackmail him. He said further, quote, these allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree? He added, my only heartbreak is for my family. My wife and I will have to sit our children down, one of whom is at the age where her friends will see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims and explain the cruelty and greed of people. Joining us now, Joey Jackson, CNN legal analyst and criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor. There's a lot to unpack here. Joey, I want to start with just the statement from Jay-Z, which is so forceful in its denial. I just read a teeny part of it. It's long, where he says that they should file a criminal complaint. Is that even possible at this point?
So based on the allegations, Jessica, good morning. Good to see you. I think that it certainly could be. Why do I say that? Now, he, of course, is more than annoyed, would be an understatement. Yeah. He has a family and he has a lot to protect, including his brand. But to the extent that he's saying, hey, come after me criminally, that could be likely. Why do I say that? Because rape in New York, and what's alleged in this complaint, is forcible compulsion. What that means in English is that it's saying that he held her down, raped her, and that, of course, the allegation is that Mr. Combs did the same thing. And so if those facts are actually accurate, it would require an investigation by prosecutors. And if true, right, you could pursue it criminally. Now, with respect to evidentiary value, yes, it happened 24 years ago, right? More than 24 years ago. But in the allegations, there's a few things. Number one, there's allegation that another celebrity was present at the time, right, in addition to other people. Number two, there's the claim by the victim, right, that she left, that she went and she was seen by a gas attendant who saw her in distress. Number three, that she phone called her dad, who showed up, the 13-year-old, and now removed her. So civil complaint, simply allegations, needs to be proven in a court of law. But if true, it could rise to the level of criminality. And, you know, we'll see what happens if the DA looks and investigates.
So what happens now?
So what happens now is this is simply a civil complaint. And
that moment has now arrived, and Wayne is seizing it with gusto, with Jay-Z's name being dragged into lawsuits and shocking claims. Wayne sees the perfect chance to strike, and strike he does. Hard. He's not just throwing shade, he's exposing secrets that could dismantle Jay-Z's carefully crafted image.
Through the technical legal process. Now, the distinction, Jessica, between civil and criminal, of course, is that civil is for monetary damages, right? The system can only reward you with money. There's allegations that this 13-year-old is suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, suffered depression, etc. So now you go to fact-finding, right? Before that, just briefly, there was a demand letter sent. And a demand letter is a letter being sent by a lawyer saying, hey, I don't have to sue you. We can sit, we can mediate it. If we reach an agreement, never sees the light of day. Jay-Z saying, I don't care about your demand letter. I look at it as blackmail. You want to sue me, sue me. You want to look at it criminally, look at it criminally, but it'll go through the fact-finding process. If a trial is necessary to determine the facts, that's what will happen, but it'll be deemed civil. No indication at this point as to whether or not any criminal investigation will ensue as a result of this.
Yeah, and Jay-Z came back incredibly forcefully against these allegations and really singled out that attorney as well for being, I'm paraphrasing here, but greedy, saying he's out to get money and calling that letter essentially blackmail.
Yeah, and in addition to that, Jessica, also suing the attorney, saying he's intimidating him, harassing him, etc. Now, demand letters are not new. What lawyers do is they send them out as a matter of protocol and practice so that you can expedite the process. At the same time, there's certain ethical standards that you have to use, and you have to have a good faith factual belief that this is true. Now, you can argue this complaint was filed in October, right? Could have mentioned Jay-Z then. You didn't. Why? It was amended now to include him. Are the factual assertions true? Are they fact or fiction? Is it a money grab or not? All of that will be litigated in a court of law, but according to Jay-Z, this never happened, is pure fiction. It is a money grab, and he's fighting for his name, reputation, and certainly innocence and justice in his view, which is he didn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah, and you touch on a point too that I wanted to ask you about, which was that this was an amendment amendment to this already existing lawsuit. What are people to take away from that? The fact that they're coming back and adding to this now with this specific name?
Yeah, Jessica, so it depends. That's also common. You could amend lawsuits, right, as a matter of course, and you do, to include certain factual allegations. The interesting thing to me in terms of your question and the takeaway, if you had this information about Jay-Z, it happened allegedly in September of 2000, why not include it in the original complaint? What happened between October and now that necessitated you putting in, and it's a question of credibility. Was he celebrity A, right, as was noted in the October complaint? Is this pure fiction? And what's interesting in the complaint is he really, that is the lawyer, tries to tie Jay-Z to Mr. Combs in so many ways, right? Birds of a feather.
The firm sent his lawyer a demand letter on behalf of an alleged victim, and that victim never demanded a penny from him. Instead, she only sought a confidential mediation. Since I sent the letter on her behalf, Mr. Carter has not only sued me, but he has tried to bully and harass me and this plaintiff. His conduct has had the opposite impact. She is emboldened. I am very proud of her resolve. And so we continue to follow the very latest developments as we share this information with you, as we do now know that Jay-Z has been named in connection with a lawsuit involving Sean Diddy Combs. Now, Diddy's lawyers also responded to this, telling TMZ the amended complaint and lawsuit are, quote, shameless publicity stunts designed to extract payments from celebrities who fear having lies spread about them. We're going to continue to follow all of these developments as they happen and, of course, bring that to you as we see.
That's not the only skeleton Wayne is pulling out of Jay-Z's closet. He's also dredging up long-standing rumors about Jay-Z's relationships with younger women. While Jay-Z has consistently maintained that he met Beyoncé when she was 18, some interviews suggest they may have crossed paths when she was just 15 or 16. Then, there are the swirling rumors about a relationship with Foxy Brown when she was only 15, a claim Foxy has denied. However, Wayne is now hinting that he allegedly has receipts to back these explosive allegations.
Lawsuit alleges rapper Jay-Z sexually assaulted a 13-year-old girl back in 2000. The lawsuit was originally filed against Sean Diddy Combs back in October, then refiled on Sunday to add Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter. The plaintiff, identified as Jane Doe, says she was assaulted by both men at a Video Music Awards after party. The artists have denied those accusations. Now, in a statement through his company, Rock Nation, Jay-Z responded to the lawsuit and the lawyer representing the plaintiff, saying, quote, my lawyer received a blackmail attempt called a demand letter from a lawyer named Tony Busby. What he had calculated was the nature of these allegations and the public scrutiny would make me want to settle. No, sir, it had the opposite effect. It made me want to expose you for the fraud that you are, his words, in a very public fashion. So no, I will not give you one red penny, end quote. Now, the lawyer, Busby, did not immediately respond for comment on this, but has refuted Carter's accusations of blackmail on social media. Meanwhile, Sean P. Diddy Combs is still in custody in New York, awaiting his trial on federal sex trafficking charges. He tried to secure bail, but was denied several times. CBS News legal contributor Jessica Levinson joins us now to go over this lawsuit. Welcome, Jessica. A lot to talk about here. What can you tell us about the timing of Jay-Z's allegations, since he wasn't named in that initial lawsuit filing?
That's right. Well, we don't know for sure, but in hearing Jay-Z's response, I think one possible scenario is that the attorneys came to him and said, we'd like X amount of money, and if you don't give it, then we are going to name you in a civil suit. Now, again, we're reading tea leaves here, but it would be reasonable to think that there was some discussions, let's say, behind the scenes. And sometimes what happens is that a celebrity feels like the accusations alone are so harmful that it's worth it for them to say, okay, here's this pot of money. Sometimes they feel like saying, giving over the money and having that potentially be reported will look like they're admitting guilt. Here, what we have is Jay-Z being extremely unequivocal in saying, not me, not it, no way, no how. And in fact, I think we might see a situation where Jay-Z and his attorneys might go after the attorney who filed the case, potentially asking for sanctions, potentially saying that this is a frivolous suit and or that there was no good faith basis to add Jay-Z to this complaint.
Now, given that this is a civil lawsuit, Jessica, what are your thoughts on the plaintiff still going under the name Jane Doe in this lawsuit? If she wants this to continue forward, will we eventually learn her name?
It depends, but there are lots of public policy reasons why when it comes to a suit like this, when it comes to allegations of sexual assault that were perpetrated against a minor, that we say that you can remain anonymous. Now, again, I wish I could give you a specific answer, but in part, it depends on how far this case goes, whether or not we might hear testimony. But I think it is important for people to know that the law does provide protection many times for people filing these types of suits, particularly, again, against very powerful celebrities, because regardless of what you think of this specific case, you can understand there are...
Wayne is painting a damning picture of Jay-Z as a man with a dark history, someone who allegedly manipulates younger women and orchestrates cover-ups to protect his empire. These allegations are serious, and if Wayne truly has the receipts he claims to possess, they could spell disaster for Jay-Z's reputation and career.
Types of cases.
Absolutely. Now, you mentioned this earlier in your first answer, but just to remind our viewers, Jay-Z filed a lawsuit against the attorney representing the plaintiff. What does his lawsuit allege?
Essentially that this is a frivolous case, that it amounts to extortion, and this is the most forceful way that you can respond to this type of allegation, meaning not just Jay-Z isn't just saying, I am not liable. It's not guilt, it's liability because it's a civil suit, but he's saying, I am the victim of a shakedown and I want to vindicate my rights. And what you can see in these situations is sometimes an attorney could be held in contempt for filing a case or for adding a particular party. Sometimes these are pretty extraordinary circumstances. You can see an attorney that's actually reported to the state bar where they work. But this is part of, I think, the lawsuit, obviously, that Jay-Z filed. It's a lawsuit in and of itself, but it's also the most forceful response you can possibly give.
Any chance that this could turn into a criminal case, given that it happened in 2000?
I don't think so based on the statute of limitations. The suit was filed in, obviously, it's a civil case in federal court under a New York law that provides a so-called look back, meaning that the statute of limitations, there's an exception and it opens up for specific types of allegations for a specific window of time. We saw this in the case that E. Jean Carroll brought against President Trump. There was a look back provision in one of those cases. Similar thing here.
All right, CBS News legal contributor Jessica Levinson.
Why now? Why is it low? Wayne picking this moment to air out Jay-Z's dirty laundry. Some say it's payback for years of shade and disrespect. Others believe it's a strategic move to boost his own relevance in the ever-competitive world of hip-hop. Whatever the reason, one thing is clear. Wayne is loving every second of this scandal.
We've got some breaking news to get to. A civil lawsuit has been filed against Jay-Z, saying the rapper raped a 13-year-old girl back in 2000. The suit alleges that Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter, raped the girl after the Video Music Awards alongside Sean Diddy Combs. The victim says she was invited to an after party after being spotted by a limo driver and was then assaulted by both rappers. Jay-Z is calling this a blackmail attempt. He released a statement on social media responding to the lawsuit, and Texas attorney behind the legal action saying in part, these allegations are so heinous in nature, you have made a terrible error in judgment, thinking that all celebrities are the same. I look forward to showing you just...
Let's not forget the role Berman played. In writing this feud in an iconic interview, B-Man crowned Wayne the true king of rap. Throwing shade at Jay in the process, Jay-Z, of course, clapped back with his infamous big money disc, further feeding the flames, while Wayne tried to stay above the fray. He couldn't resist firing back in his track. It's good, where he delivered the now infamous line about kidnapping Jay-Z's woman.
Accusations connected to the case against Sean Diddy Combs. The latest involves hip-hop mogul Jay-Z, who issued a vehement denial. This morning, a blistering response from Jay-Z after he was accused of sexually assaulting a 13-year-old girl more than 2 decades ago. The billionaire hip-hop mogul was added to an existing civil lawsuit against Sean Diddy Combs, citing an alleged incident after the 2000 VMAs, where the victim claims she was drugged and assaulted by both Diddy and Jay-Z while a third celebrity watched.
The judge has actually agreed that the victim can remain anonymous and that the case can proceed. So there seems to be a little bit more to this case.
Jay-Z vehemently denying the claim, writing, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away." Also saying, "My only heartbreak is for my family. My wife and I will have to sit our children down and explain the cruelty and greed of people. I mourn yet another loss of innocence." Jay-Z also attacked the attorney behind the lawsuit, Tony Busby, who fired back saying, "I won't be bullied or intimidated." Busby is behind at least 20 of the sexual assault lawsuits against Combs, who calls Busby's lawsuits shameless publicity stunts. Combs' statement went on to say he has never sexually assaulted or trafficked anyone. Combs will stay in jail until his trial in May, but he has appealed the most recent decision to deny him bail. That ruling?
Fast forward to today, and it seems Wayne has had enough of playing nice. He's not just calling out Jay-Z, but the entire Rock Nation empire, accusing them of shady practices and exposing their alleged skeletons, from pay-for-promotion schemes aimed at tearing down Nicki Minaj to using Kendrick Lamar to humble him. Wayne is leaving no stone unturned.
Tonight, Jay-Z fighting back against a rape accusation. His attorney filing a letter to the judge to dismiss the rape lawsuit against his client, citing an NBC News exclusive that found inconsistencies with the accuser's story.
You should always advocate for yourself.
It comes after our interview with a 38-year-old mother from Alabama who accuses Sean Diddy Combs and Sean Jay-Z Carter of raping her when she was 13 years old. She asked us not to reveal her identity.
What made you want to come forward? Because I think that I've been quiet long enough.
She says that she went to the MTV Video Music Awards in 2000. The woman says she spoke to Combs' limo driver, who offered her a ride to an after party. She says at the party, she spoke to musician Benji Madden and his brother.
I'm talking to Benji Madden about his tattoo. It's the Last Supper.
In a statement to NBC News, a representative for the Maddens confirmed that they did not attend the 2000 VMAs and that they were on tour in the Midwest at that time. At the after party, she says she had a drink that made her feel woozy. Then she says Combs and Carter both raped her. She says she ran to a gas station where she called her father, who picked her up.
We rode home in silence. She didn't ask me what happened.
In an interview with NBC News, her father said he could not verify the claims. "I feel like I would remember that, and I don't," he said. When we asked the woman about the contradictions in a phone interview on Friday, she said she stands by her statements. "I have made some mistakes," she said, in remembering what happened 24 years ago. "Honestly, what is the clearest is what happened to me." In a statement to NBC News, Sean Carter said, "This incident didn't happen. True justice is coming. We fight from victory, not for victory." A representative for Combs called the suit a shameless money grab.
Is any part of you scared coming out against such powerful people?
I'm scared of what could happen, but I'm more afraid of letting it eat me alive from the inside out.
Chloe Malas, NBC News.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on.
Speaking of Drake, his rivalry with Jay-Z adds another layer to this drama. Fans have long argued that Drake is more relevant in today's hip-hop scene than Jay-Z ever was. While Jay-Z reportedly tried to use Kendrick Lamar to overshadow Drake, the strategy didn't work. Drake's continued success only fueled the fire, with fans taking sides and reigniting the age-old debate about who the real king of rap is.
All right, here we go. Skino, welcome back to Vlad TV.
What's up, man? What's up, man?
We're back.
Yeah, man.
We're back. You know, despite what the haters say.
despite what they're here to say, I'm a regular on Vlad now, so like, I mean, y'all guys, just take it and suck it up, man. Just get over it.
That's right. That's right. Our newest regular guest. So a lot going on right now. What hits closest to home with you is what's happening with Jay-Z right now.
Yeah.
So basically, the lawyer Busby had a case of a 13-year-old who accused Diddy of, improper behavior, and the actual lawsuit was amended to include Diddy as well as Jay-Z this time around. And Jay-Z went crazy, wrote a big letter and everything else like that. And actually, the lawyer is now suing Jay-Z and Roc Nation.
I read it this morning.
This morning, yeah. Because he's claiming that like Jay-Z tried to file a fake lawsuit against him using someone else's name, is trying to bribe people to try to take him down and so forth. So it's getting personal.
I mean, I think you getting charged with it, it's a blemish on your image. Like, I mean, whether you did it or not. So I just think this is unfortunate because, I mean, if I had to bet on it, I would say he didn't do it because I just don't want to believe that. I don't want to believe he did not like that. But of course, anything's possible. But for somebody to just be able to accuse you of something 24 years later and people talk, it's crazy to me. I mean, anybody could come just mess up your image. And I know he takes his image personal. That's his whole thing. His image is everything. That's why he responded so fast. I mean, but you hanging with Puff Daddy all the time. I mean, of course, it's like guilty by association type thing. You know what I mean?
Right, but his lawyer is saying that he has no real friendship or connection to Diddy.
That we all know that's bullshit right there. Like,
okay. I mean, you ever seen the two of them hang out?
No, but I see them all together on every type of TV, every type. You know what I mean, like stuff like that. Of course, they might not consider each other the best friends, but they had the brunch together.
Yeah.
I mean, like
Roc Nation brunch. Diddy shows up.
That's why sometimes you gotta just say you didn't do it. Don't say y'all not friends. Just say you ain't do it. Because most people don't believe you did it. I mean, most people don't, because it feel like the girl's lying.
Yeah, I mean, they went through all the details because she actually did an interview with I think ABC. And she claims that her father picked her up afterwards and they rode in silence. He was really uncomfortable. And the father was like, well, that was 5 hours from my house. So I would have remembered that. I don't remember picking her up. You're talking about 5 hours each way? Yeah. The dad said he doesn't remember. And she's like, oh, he was going through a lot back then. We argue a lot over that. He just doesn't remember.
She's lying. Because my thing is this. If you're a 13-year-old girl and you have sex with a millionaire rapper, 2 rappers, you're going to tell everybody. And if you feel like they raped you, you went straight to the police. Yeah. From the rip. I mean, that's why I didn't believe it. Like, I just feel like, but of course, the way this world's so backwards and upside down now, I can't say nothing for sure. I don't know. I mean, but I don't even think if she wasn't even around them and don't have proof that she was around them, I don't even understand how they could make a lawsuit with that.
There's no proof, period. In fact, she said that the guys, the brothers from Good Charlotte were there when it happened. And they actually responded and said that they were actually on tour during that day. They weren't even there.
She's lying.
There's nothing to corroborate anything. There's no people. There's no pictures. There's no video. There's no police report. It's just her saying, and she's even saying, oh yeah, well, I think I got some of the details wrong, but I still stand by what I'm saying. Jay-Z and Diddy raped me when I was 13.
I mean, I think there's somebody, whoever the powers that be that's trying to get Puff Daddy and Jay-Z, they must know Jay-Z like young people and try to put that in, as a way to get him. Because he got a track record for messing with young people, whatever, that's what allegedly. So they probably just try to use that to blemish his image and take him down. But I think Jay-Z too savvy for that. I think he was too connected and too savvy to go down like that. He might go down some other type of way, but I don't think not like that.
But back to Wayne and Jay-Z. What's next in this messy saga? If Wayne decides to release the receipts he's been holding on to, it could be game over for Jay-Z. The lawsuits and allegations already swirling around him are damaging enough, but add Wayne's claims into the mix, and Jay-Z's empire could crumble.